Hey everyone, it's Summer with AstariaSen, and I struggled with doing this video because I don't usually put a lot of personal stuff on my channel, but ultimately I decided it could potentially help somebody else. So this is me. I'm going through a depressive episode, so to speak. I'm not clinically depressed or, anything like that, don't worry. But because of my life and things that have happened in my past, I sometimes go through traumatic experiences when I'm alone for an extended period of time, and I have to force myself out of it. This is me forcing myself out of it. Being out of the property has also made that a little more difficult for me. It's not the kind of episode that says that I want to hurt myself or anything like that. It's honestly just this really heavy sadness that I can't make go away. It's my brain that won't shut off. It just keeps going no matter what I do. And sometimes I can do things to counteract that, especially when I lived in the city. I could go window shopping, or I love window shopping, guys. I like looking at fairy stuff, and I like looking at craft stuff and books and just being out. But when I'm out at the property, it is a little more difficult for me to just go to town. So I have to find other ways to counteract that. And I know a lot of people who get depressed don't even like to leave the house, which I can see that side too, because I've had those days. And that's probably what is going on with me right now. I don't want to leave because it's going to take me an hour to even get into the city. It's going to be a long drive, and I'm going to have to drive all the way back too. And that is so daunting right now. So daunting. But I gotta do what I gotta do in order to help myself, because nobody's gonna do it for me. My guy is out of town. He's hunting. He'll be gone until Monday. My kids, if I'm not doing well like today, I would normally call them, but I've talked to my daughter yesterday, one of them, my oldest, and this morning, and it's not enough for me right now. I need something else that will help me. So I'm going to take you through a series of things that I do to try to help myself. And one of that is connecting with other people in some way. And I wouldn't normally do this publicly. I don't do it on Facebook. I don't do it on Instagram. And I definitely don't do it on YouTube. This is not something you're going to see on my channel very often. And I can't, I just don't do this, because when you wallow in it, when you dwell in it, when you sit with it and you don't pull yourself out, it makes it so much worse. And I can't even tell you why I'm so sad. I don't even really know. It could be any number of things, like it could just be that I'm alone. It could just be that I don't feel like I'm enough sometimes. But I need to get out of it. I have a lot to do, and I'm stronger than this. So I'm going to show you how I'm strong. And I'm going to show you what I do to help myself. Now, I've been to therapists. That's a thing. Both my children see therapists. So if you're seeing this video and you need to see somebody, you should see somebody. Don't try to do it yourself if you can't do it yourself. And that's all about knowing you. That is all about knowing you. So keep that in mind. The stuff that I do is stuff that helps me. If it helps somebody else, then that's kind of why I want to put it out here. Sorry. Alright, let's see if I can pull myself out of this, okay? Trial 1, out of the property. Hi, puppies. Are you ready to go for a muck? Hi, guys. Hold on a second. Hold on just a second. Sit, please. Sit, please. Sit. 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 Good boys. Come on. Let's go for a walk. Come on, guys. So pretty out. The sun, the sky. So nice. Feels good to be outside. What you doing? What are you doing, big boy? What? What are we doing? What are we doing? Hi, buddy. Hi, Otto. Hi, Otto. So, continuing on with things to help myself feel better, which I'm already starting to feel better. I can feel the weight lift off. Like being outside was significant improvement. Eating, walking around, doing something active instead of just laying here was helpful. And I haven't brushed my hair in a couple of days. I don't know like how well you can see that. But so the next thing I'm going to do is brush my hair, and it seems so small, but it's extremely significant for me because I like my hair being brushed and it gives me a good feeling. So that's what I'm doing next. And since my hair is super long, it might take a minute. At least it's not like super ratty because I braid it when I go to bed at night generally, and so that braid has been in for a couple of days. Actually, Adam braided it for me before he left to go hunting. That feels so much better already. Like, it's always, for me, it always just seems to be like these small changes that I make to my day that can literally like change everything. And I'm still learning how to cope with being out here at the property now. If you haven't noticed, like I probably been in this state for a couple of days because I haven't showered. And showering out here takes a lot more effort right now, so I'm not going to be doing that. But I probably will tomorrow. Today is just pulling myself out, and then I will tackle tomorrow. Just one thing at a time. So there, I feel like that is already so much better. Just the feel of it is so much better, and I'm shedding all over. Otto, please don't be growly. He's growling at his brother because they fight over a bone. Wow, it's amazing, like, how much of a difference that actually makes for me. Just the act of brushing out my hair. The journaling I did earlier was significantly helpful. It definitely uplifted me. At first it felt like I was falling further because I had a lot on my mind, and instead of trying to focus on one thing that was making me sad or anything like that, I just wrote down anything that came to mind. It did not matter what it was. If it made me cry harder, that was fine. If it made me stop crying, that was fine. It didn't matter. The point was just to get everything that was in my head down on the page so that I could move forward, because I'm an author. Well, I was in the past, and I've kept avid journals, honestly, most of my life. And so keeping those are like a safe haven for me. They're a place for me to explore things that I don't want other people to know. And it's just stuff I tell myself. And I've learned recently, actually through this community, how to love myself a little bit more. So when I am journaling, even if I'm talking about something bad at the end, I've gotten into the habit of trying to lift myself back up at the end of the journal process. So I'll tell myself things like, I've made it this far, I can keep going, or look how much you've already been through, look at how much you've already survived, you can do this too, you know, those kinds of things depending on the situation. So I try to find ways to like uplift myself, because that's important. How you talk to yourself is super, super important, and your brain can do a number of things. And so the way I talk to myself is important to me. And yes, I do criticize myself. And yes, I get down on myself. And yes, I have bad days. And yes, I have anger sometimes. But you know what? In the end, I'm the one who takes care of me in the end. And I'm the one who takes care of my mental health. I find the uplifting stuff that I can. I will watch it, and I will continue on with my day, and hopefully, which I think it's working. Like, I could see a difference and feel a difference just by the small things that I've done, that I'm going to pull out of this really easy today. And I'm thankful for that, because it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes it takes a lot more than just eating something, going out in the sunshine, walking with my dogs, and watching some videos. Sometimes it's way more. Sometimes I have to journal more. Sometimes I have to watch movie after movie after movie that's uplifting, listen to uplifting music. I have to physically be around people sometimes. So I'm grateful that today was not one of those days where I would have to drive into town, because I don't know if I would have had the energy to do it. And that's kind of something that I'm going to have to compete with. Not compete. Sorry, my brain is not pulling the word. It's something I'm going to have to deal with, basically. It's something I'm going to have to find ways around, because that may not always be possible out here. So instead, I'll probably just call a friend, maybe do video chatting, and that should help me more than a lot of other things. Video chatting has been very popular, you know, in this last year because of everything that's happened. So I think that that will probably work. So the next time that I need something like this, I will probably video chat somebody just to help myself further if I happen to need that. But for now, this is what I've done. This is what I do, and this is how I work on my own self help, so to speak. I do journaling, and I do coloring, and I do watching kids shows, and little things, like even looking at my fairy garden earlier. You know, it's just all the little things, and those little things are important. They mean a lot to me. These little tiny things, little comments, or watching somebody's video, or seeing my fairies, or watching my dogs run like horses, because they sound like horses as they're just running through. Just the little things. And I'm grateful that I've been through enough in my life, that I've gone and gotten the help that I needed enough in my life, that I have these tools available to help myself and tell myself the positive things and make myself do the things, because without that willpower, without that desire to continue on, it makes it a lot harder for people. And I know that. If you need help, please seek it. And if you're watching this just to get ideas on how to help yourself, I hope that this helped you. And now I'm going to go watch some funny cats, and I'm going to watch Troll Hunters on Netflix, and I'm going to watch YouTube videos because I can, and because I know that's what will help lift my spirit, and that's what I want to happen. So thank you guys so much for watching and being there, just being right there. Nah, if I was you, I'd wanna be me.